Welcome to the Flower Farm Sampler Quilt-Along series. I'm Shelley Kavana, author of the Flower Farm Sampler book, and it's my mission to help you make stunning quilts simply. If we haven't met before, I'm a quilt pattern and cross-stitch designer. I design fabric and I write quilting books like the Barnstar Sampler and the Flower Farm Sampler. You can find my patterns, fabrics, and books at your favorite local quilt shop, or you can find them online at our website at corasquilt.com. You can also follow our quilty adventures on social media under the tag @CorasQuilts. In our Flower Farm Sampler Quilt-Along series, we'll be working through all 18 blocks from my Flower Farm Sampler book, spread out over 12 months. To sew along with us, you'll need your fabric and the book. In these videos, also assume that you've prepped and cut your fabric pieces following the book's instructions. To make the blocks in the book, you won't need any specialty rulers, foundation paper piecing, or templates. Most of the blocks use my favorite stitch and flip techniques to create complex geometric designs with simple shapes. A few of our blocks do include triangles, which will piece oversized and trim down to perfection. All the stitch and flip basics are also covered on pages 10 through 13 of your book, so you'll definitely want to bookmark that section for handy reference. Instead of starting with block 1 and working our way chronologically through the book, we're going to begin with our smaller 8-inch blocks. This way, we can practice techniques on a manageable scale before tackling our larger and more complicated blocks. You'll find our complete schedule, my list of must-have and nice-to-have tool recommendations, and a free downloadable block checklist so you can keep track of your progress, all on our Quilt-Along homepage. We've left the link to that in the description box below. Welcome back to the Flower Farm Sampler Quilt-Along. In this week's video, we'll be working on our Dahlia block. This is block 5 in your book, which you'll find on page 26, and it is another stunning 16-inch block. One of my favorite things about the Dahlia block is that it gives the illusion of a flower with curved petals, but that it's made using only squares and rectangles, so we don't have any actual curved piecing or bias edges. Our Dahlia block is built in that familiar 9-patch structure, 3 rows of 3 units each. Our corner units use a combination of traditional piecing with some simple stitch and flip corners. Our side units feature a fun new chevron shape with nesting seams that make matching points a breeze. And our center unit is that familiar stitch and flip square in a square unit. And my favorite part about this block is that our background border is actually built directly into each piece, so you don't have to go back and add a separate border to finish the block. If you've worked your way through our previous videos, then chances are you're feeling pretty confident with your stitch and flip shapes. So in this video, since we're approaching just about the halfway point of our quilt-along, I'd love to share one final stitch and flip technique to help you speed up your piecing. Now, if you're perfectly comfortable marking each of your stitching lines before sewing, you can absolutely continue to do so. But if you're ready to ditch your pencil, then here is a look at my favorite method for lineless diagonal seams. If you're not crazy about marking your stitching lines, however, then today's video is for you, because today's video will show you how to skip the marking step and get right down to the sewing. We're demonstrating the method using a smaller square against the corner of a larger background square, but this technique will work with just about any stitch and flip unit. As always, if you're new to this technique, we recommend practicing with some scraps first. So the trick for sewing lineless diagonal seams is to find a way to project your seam line, your stitching line, from your needle position out onto the bed of your sewing machine. And some machines, like my Bernina B770 QE, have the stitching line marked directly here on the machine bed. But this particular machine bed has a handy little window so that you can see to change the bobbin if you need to, but our line is interrupted. So if you have an interrupted sewing line or you don't have a line at all on your machine bed, the easiest way to project your stitching line is to take a piece of washi tape or painter's tape and very carefully place it on your machine bed so that it lines right up with your needle and goes straight out onto your machine bed. Now you want to make sure that you don't cover up your feed dogs. So you may need to cut a little notch at the top of the washi tape before you put it back into place and start sewing. Another one of my favorite tools for making lineless diagonal seams is by using the Sew Straight Guide by Quilt in a Day. And it has these really fantastic little rubber sticky pieces on the back. And so all you have to do is line up the mat with the needle and press the sticky mats into place, and you are ready to start sewing. I also really like this mat because it does have the cross hatch marks on. It has those additional marks so that you can help keep your corners square as you're sewing along. And I feel like the more visual guides you have to keep you sewing as straight a line as possible, the more successful you'll be at sewing these lineless diagonal seams. And if your sewing machine bed has a little bit of a curve to it like mine, then you can simply tack the Sew Straight Guide into place using a little bit of washi tape around the edges. And it's important to take care of this step because you don't want the edge snagging your fabric as you are feeding it through the machine. Once you've established your sewing guide, then you're ready to start sewing. All you need to do is place your first corner square right sides together with one corner of your background square, being careful to line up the edges in the corner. If you're new to the lineless method, you can always use a pin to secure the two pieces of fabric so that they don't move around while stitching. Then line your first corner up with your needle and start sewing, keeping the corner closest to you lined up with your sewing guide. Let your feed dogs do all the work of feeding the fabric through your machine, and just use your fingertips to keep that corner lined up with your stitching line. If you're not a fan of using pins, but you still need to add a little bit of stability to your block as you're piecing, you can add a little dab of glue in the corner of the area where you're going to trim off. My favorite type of glue to use is this Sewline washable glue stick, and that little dab of glue in the corner where you trim off anyways is enough to keep your block in place without having to worry about pins as you sew. So if you're choosing to continue marking your stitching lines, you'll start off the Dahlia corner units by marking your stitching lines on the wrong sides of each E square. Then, paying careful attention to the orientation of the stitching line in your assembly diagram, you'll first sew an E square to the lower right corner of an F rectangle to create the top half of the unit. The F rectangle is half an inch taller than the E square, so you should have a little bit of background fabric showing above the edge of your E corner. For the bottom half of the unit, you'll first sew an E square to the right end of an H rectangle. Be sure that your H rectangle is oriented so that it's 3.5 inches wide and 3 inches tall. The E square should completely fill up the entire corner. To finish assembling the corner unit, you'll first sew a C square to the right edge of a step 2 unit. Then you'll join the step 1 unit to the top edge, taking care to match up the points of those E corners so that they create the illusion of a continuous line. Our side units, or our compass point units, are a simple chevron shape. Paying careful attention to the angle of your seams, you'll sew E and A squares to opposite ends of a B rectangle. For step 4, these seams should be right leaning or going from the upper right corner down towards the lower left. The trick to getting perfectly crisp points is all in our pressing. So for step 4, you're going to want to press all of your seams towards the E corner or the lighter corner end of the block. I know that it seems a little bit awkward to press the A seam away from the corner, but trust me here. The unit in step 5 is a mirror image of the step 4 unit. You're still attaching E and A squares to opposite ends of a B rectangle, but this time you're using left-leaning seams, and you're pressing all of your seams towards the A end of the unit. This way, when we go to join together the units from steps 4 and 5 into a pair, the seams from our stitch and flip corners will nest together perfectly. We simply have to line up the units along the top edge and slide those seam points towards each other until you feel them kind of butt up against each other. Secure with a pin and stitch. I'm suggesting that you press the seams on this chevron unit open to reduce bulk before sewing a G rectangle to the top edge to finish the unit. For the center units, you'll make square and square units using your D and A squares. To assemble the Dahlia block, you'll lay out your corner, side, and center units in 3 rows. As you sew the pieces together into rows, take the time to practice your precision piecing by using pins to match up your points. To get your seams to nest around that center unit, press the seams on the top and bottom rows towards the interior of the block, and press the seams on the center row towards the exterior. Then finish up your block by sewing your rows together, lining up your nesting seams where the rows meet next to the square and square unit, and matching the remaining points between the corner and side units. And there you have it, the finished Dahlia block. Just look at those gorgeous radiating petals. We'll be back next week to kick off month 6 with our gentian block. We'll see you then. Thanks so much for sewing along with me today. You can post your photos in our Flower Farm Sampler Quilt Along Facebook group or on Instagram and Blue Sky using hashtag Flower Farm Sampler. And be sure to tag us at Chorus Quilts so that we can see your beautiful work too. Don't forget to grab your free Flower Farm Sampler checklist. You can find the link for the free download in the description box below. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more quilting videos. Hit the bell icon for notifications when we post new tutorials. Happy sewing, and we'll see you next time with another Flower Farm Sampler block.